Good evening, YouTube. It's your guy J Crew to you, coming at you once again with another video about something out there in the world that I think deserves to be mentioned and commented on. I want to talk to you all this evening here on July 1st, 2021, about the big news yesterday regarding Mr. William Bill Cosby, in terms of him being released from prison, um, being freed, and having his sexual assault eviction overturned by the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. Let me go ahead and say that I know I myself did not expect for this to happen. Bill Cosby had not been on my personal radar for any extended period of time for the past maybe few years, really since he's been in prison. I haven't really, heard anything about him regarding his prison experience until the last 2 to 3 months. I know within the last 2 to 3 months, Bill Cosby was reported to have been prodded at some point over the past several to few months to have been asked to take some kind of program in prison for a certain type of offender, and it may have been in relation to sexual assault offenders. But from what I understood, he refused to take it. They even said that Bill Cosby, had he chosen to take this program, would have been freed from prison already. But he chose to stand up and not do it. And I thought that was remarkable. Because you would think somebody his age, and I believe Mr. Cosby is 83, that he would have been quick to want to jump into that program, whether he was guilty or not, just to get out of prison. But it seems like he did that in terms of not choosing to go through this prison program as a matter of principle. And I think that's extremely rare. It shows that even though he's 83, he may be old in age, but apparently his mind is still very strong as well as his will. I want to go back in the past and just do my best to rehash the events that led up to him even being in prison. For the past several decades, Bill Cosby has been well known to being a world famous comedian, incredible success. With his show on daytime TV, called the Cosby Show. For many years, had many famous actors of African American descent appear on that show, and it really was groundbreaking. In terms of how people came to see black people. Because before that point, of course, blacks have been perceived as, folks who were just not well to do. You had 227, and amongst other shows, that really portrayed black people as kind of like, project laden, meaning how they were dwelling in housing projects. They really had a hard time financially, and when the Cosby Show came out, like in the '80s, Bill Cosby portrayed black people as upwardly mobile. One, the mother, I believe the mother and the father, one was a doctor, one was a lawyer, and black people weren't used to being portrayed in that way. And it was kind of groundbreaking because it presented black people as if we weren't just beaten up. We weren't just downtrodden, struggling financially, but we were actually doing well in life. And nobody was used to seeing that. Unfortunately, even though this wasn't known, Bill Cosby's reputation in terms of dealing with women in his personal life began to take shape. And again, I'm gonna say reportedly, because again, I wasn't there. I haven't seen these things. Many women have come out in recent years saying during this period, back in the '70s and '80s, that Bill Cosby was reported to have been known to invite women, to different locations, and he was known to, put, or should I say, lace their drinks with a certain cocktail to knock them out, and during the course of them being knocked out, he was sexually assaulting them. But it really wasn't even known really like that. I guess maybe in Hollywood it was, but to like the general public, I know I had never heard nothing like that about Bill Cosby. And uh, what was the most surprising thing in terms of how this all came about, in terms of him even get to the point where he was having a court case, was the way all of this was revealed. As people know, back in the early to mid 2000s, well, people know now, that Bill Cosby befriended this lady named Andrea Constand at Temple University, I believe, and he was reported to have sexually assaulted her after giving her some sort of cocktail. And during that period, I don't know if the assault took place in the 2000s, but it may have been like years before, like in the 90s or whatnot. But I believe it was in 2004, 2005. Bill Cosby um, could was going through, I mean, maybe a civil case, Miss Constant, maybe on the low, and he agreed with the then prosecutor to sit down and sort of structure a deposition to where he would sort of give his account of what happened to Andrea Constand and between him and Andrea Constand, but he really um, wanted to some assurance from the prosecution that he would never be prosecuted for this. At which time they reportedly agreed, and so it was kind of kept quiet, back then. I know I don't remember hearing nothing about that, and not too many people I know remember hearing anything about that little deal that he made. Fast forward to 2013, 2014, there was just some random black comedian I had never heard of named Hannibal Buress who was doing his comedy routine. And Hannibal Buress, who was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I believe at the time doing a comedy routine, I don't even think he was that well known. But of course, the world has changed over the past, few decades. With social media, those who are not known, they can become known for practically not doing anything, or maybe just kind of saying stuff that people may have forgotten about or did not know about. We're in the information age where things are instantly accessible, and if we look hard enough. And so the reason I say that is that Hannibal Buress was just doing this stage routine, and he was, just going through his little routine or whatever, and he happened to be, just doing a joke, and he basically was talking about how Bill Cosby had been sort of like, I would say, backhanding the black community about, the black community portraying themselves maybe as street folks and thugs, telling black people need to pull their pants up, correct their English over the past few decades, and how Bill Cosby had felt like black people just weren't portraying themselves in a respectable manner. Well, and Hannibal Buress basically did a joke about this, and I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read the joke that he did. I'm trying to read it verbatim here, and just so I can put it in proper context. Hannah Burris started off his joke by saying, Bill Cosby has the effing smuggest old black man persona that I hate. He gets on TV, pull your pants up, black people. I was on TV in the 80s. I can talk down to you because I had a successful sitcom. Yeah, but you rape women, Bill Cosby, so turn the crazy down a couple of notches. When Hannibal Buress did that joke, people just sort of like was saying, well, let me start searching that. And when I say people, just a few people who probably would probably followed Hannibal Buress, and the people who were at the show probably started looking that up. They were like, well, let me look up Bill Cosby and sexual assault, rape, and see if I can find anything on that. And people came to discover, I guess, that case that he had with that Andrea Constand woman, and it ignited a firestorm. Uh, Fast forward to Bill Cosby case a year or two later, and he was convicted. At some point between 2014 and I believe in 2018, he was convicted. He said start doing his sentence for sexual assault. And during this whole period, it seemed like a ton of women came out saying Bill Cosby had done this to them over the years in terms of having this pattern of offering them a drink, lacing it with a cocktail, and knocking them out. And so Bill Cosby was found guilty, and he was given a 3 to 10 year sentence. Of course, he started his sentence, I believe, in 2018. Now it's 2021, and of course, yesterday he was freed. So as I said, it came to as a shock because I'm thinking, okay, Bill Cosby probably either gonna be in prison that full 10 years, or at least most of it, and probably gonna die in prison. But out of nowhere, I guess during a review of the case that had been appealed all the way up to the Supreme Court by Bill Cosby's lawyers, They basically said, and I want to be clear in what I'm saying, that Bill Cosby should have never been convicted because there should have never been a case. They went off of the previous agreement that was made between Bill Cosby and that original prosecutor, uh, that was made back in the mid 2000s, 2004, 2005, that Bill would never be prosecuted. They said, well, since that deal has already been made, Mr. Cosby had an understanding that he would do a deposition without fear of prosecution. So he should have never been tried for this matter. Therefore, he is eligible for release immediately. And it was kind of like a shocker because, like I said, Bill Cosby hadn't really been on anybody's radar like in recent years. He had just been, of course, in prison since 2018. And I guess myself and most other people thought he was just going to die off in prison. But incredibly, he was released. Uh, there was been a wide variety of reactions. Of course, the woman who played his TV wife back on the Cosby Show back in the 80s, Felicia Rashad, came out yesterday. She said, finally, an injustice has been corrected. Sort of paraphrasing what she said. And there have been other actresses and just people in general public who just kind of have really been taking shots at Bill Cosby, saying, wow, this is the reason why women don't come forward because of crap, like this. Men come out there and, do some things of this nature and not really be subject to a lengthy sentence or the punishment they deserve. So there have been a wide variety of reactions. Me, myself, kind of neutral on the matter. Um, I believe that, Bill Cosby probably did have some dealings of that nature back in the day, but I also feel like there should be some statute of limitations in terms of an issue like this. And I guess it just shows you that I don't understand the law as much as I think I do, because I thought the statute of limitations would have been up to even prosecute him for something like that. I thought that was just kind of crazy. Was that all these years had gone by, and even in 2013 or 14 when this stuff came to light, and then him going to court over the next few years and then eventually get convicted. I didn't think that part would happen because I thought there was some sort of statute of limitations in place. But I guess not. And again, I know there's all kind of legal wrangling that could lead to stuff like that taking place. But it was just kind of confusing to me to see how after so many years he can get convicted for something like that. That's a non-capital offense. But either way, Bill Cosby has been free. I know a lot of people have a wide variety of opinions, about his release and both his incarceration. And so if you like the video, please hit the like button. Also, if you like the content you've seen over the past several videos, hit the subscribe button. It's your guy, J. Crew to you, signing off for this evening. Y'all have a good one.